Hey, boys and girls, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depends on whatever time it is you're watching this. This is Mr. Bell, in case you didn't know, and we are going to talk today about ratios and equivalent ratios. So let's get started. A ratio, in case you didn't already know, is a comparison between two quantities. And the quantities can be very different. All right, you're just comparing one to the other, and usually in the exact order that it's asking you to. Okay, and we're going to show first of all a couple different ways that we can express a ratio, and then I'm going to show you how you can use a ratio to compare those two quantities. All right, so the first thing it says is the first step is to compare a ratio as a fraction. So here in this particular slide I have Sam's video collection, and in his video collection he has 8 comedies, he has 3 dramas, he has 2 cartoons, and he has 1 science fiction. So if I were to compare the comedies to cartoons, okay, if I were to compare comedies, let me write this down, comedies to cartoons, RTOONSNS. All right, my handwriting looks very comedic. All right, so what I would do is I would look at the number of comedies and the number of cartoons and make my comparison. The first way we would do it is write it as a fraction. Okay, so I have 8 comedies compared to 2 cartoons. Okay, so that's the first way we can compare it as a fraction. The next way we can compare it is using words. All right, and the most common word used to compare two different things is the word to. So we would compare 8 comedies to 2 cartoons. Okay, and then the last way, the third way that you can compare two quantities is with the use of a colon. All right, and this you might see an awful lot, but it's 8 comedies compared to 2 cartoons. Okay, so these are the 3 ways that you can compare two numbers. All right, those are the 3 ways: with a fraction, with the word to, and with a colon. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a couple comparisons here using this party mix example. Okay, so first of all, I want to compare the amount of bagel chips to peanuts. So first of all, I have to find out where the bagel chips are in my example. All right, so I have 3 cups of bagel chips, and then I have 1 cup of peanuts. Okay, so I can say as a fraction, 3 cups of bagel chips to 1 cup of peanuts. If I were to use the word to, I can say 3 cups of bagel chips to 1 cup of peanuts. If I were to use the colon, I would say 3 cups of bagel chips to 1 cup of peanuts. And that's it. Notice that I'm using the bagel chips first, and the peanuts is my second number. All right? So let's compare the total amount of party mix to the amount of pretzels. All right? So the total amount of party mix would be the total amount. All right? I have here I have 3 cups plus 3 cups is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So I have a total of 8 cups of party mix compared to, what do we say, pretzels. I have 3 cups of pretzels. So 8 cups of party mix to 3 cups of pretzels. Now that's the fraction. The next way to compare it would be 8 total cups of party mix to 3 cups of pretzels. The next way and the final way would be 8 cups of party mix, that's a colon, to 1 cup of pretzels. All right? And then finally I have the comparison, the cheese crackers to peanuts. So my cheese crackers are here. I know this is getting a little hard to see. I have 1 cup of cheese crackers to 1 cup of peanuts. All right, there's my peanuts right there. 1 cup of peanuts. So to write it with words, I would say 1 cup of cheese crackers to 1 cup of peanuts. And then finally, using the colon, I would say 1 cup of cheese crackers compared to 1 cup of peanuts. All right. The next thing I want to mention to you is equivalent ratios. Okay. And now equivalent ratios are ratios that name the exact same comparison. Okay. Well, let's just talk about it. Okay. So in this particular example that I have here, I have stars and I have arrows, and I want to compare the number of stars to the number of arrows. Okay. So the first and most obvious thing is just to count the number of stars. I have 6 stars. And I have let's count them here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 arrows. All right, so my first and initial comparison would be 6 stars to 8 arrows. All right, so an equivalent ratio of that would be, and how I can express this is I can either divide both the top and the bottom numbers by the same number, or I can multiply the top and bottom numbers by the same number. Okay, so if I were to multiply, let's go ahead and start with that. Let's say I can say 6 times 2, I'm going back to my original ratio of 6 over 8, and 8 times 2 would give me 12 compared to 16. So if I had 12 stars here and 16 arrows, that would be the exact same ratio as 6 to 8. Okay? Now, another way I can do it and still remain equivalent is to divide the top and bottom number by the same number. So here, let's try it with, and I'm going back to this first ratio of 6 over 8. I'm going to divide by 2, and then I'm going to divide the bottom by 2. Make sure I get that where you can see it, and that is a 2. Okay, and that should give me the exact same ratio. Okay, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Put an equal sign there, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, so all this means is that no matter what these ratios are, as long as I multiplied and divided by the same number on both the top and the bottom, then I have an equivalent ratio. And that means for every 6 stars I have 8 arrows, for every 12 stars I have 16 arrows, and for every 3 stars I have 4 arrows. All of those are the exact same thing.